How's it going, everybody? ChaoticMeatball here, and welcome back to the channel. So today, I'm making my long-awaited return to a ROM Hack Professor Oak's challenge in the form of Pokemon Renegade Platinum. I've been itching to play some ROM hacks again lately since I've been highly burned out from the main titles as of recently, and I figured I'd go ahead and do this one. This ROM hack has all 493 Pokemon available as of Gen 4, and because of that, there is a ton of different methods of obtaining Pokemon that we wouldn't normally be doing in a vanilla Generation 4 game. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the last times I play a Gen 4 game, ROM hack or vanilla, before Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl comes out, but I'll eat my shorts if they end up being as bleh as Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Anyway, let me give you a quick refresher on the rules before we get into it. Rule number 1, you must catch and evolve every available Pokemon there is before every gym badge. Rule number 2, no glitches, and rule number 3, no trading with other games. Easy, right? Well, let's find out as I complete the Professor Oak's challenge in Pokemon Renegade Platinum. But before we start, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to the channel. You may think you're subscribed because you're getting my videos recommended. You're likely not, so I'd highly recommend checking that. Check out the links in the description to my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to take a bit to talk about today's sponsor, Boxu. Boxu is the only Japanese snack box that partners with over 100-year-old snack makers. If they've been in business for that long, then they're definitely making some good stuff. They're a monthly box service that delivers straight to your door, and they have some phenomenal snacks available. There's an assortment of different snacks and teas that pair with them, and I've got the Seasons of Japan box right here. It comes with this really nice culture guide that talks about the theme briefly and explains all of the different snacks inside, such as where they're from, their flavor, ingredients, and common allergens to keep the safety of those consuming their products in the forefront. And quite a few of these treats are absolutely amazing. Two of the snacks that I wanted to talk about in this box are the White Strawberry, the world's first chocolate-infused strawberry for those who love a combo of sweet flavors. You can get a nice look of it right there. Oh, I'm glad this box came with a second one. And they've also got some savory choices like this Don Don Yaki, which is kind of incredible the way that it's made here. They're just little chips, but they've got such a pack of flavor that it's almost baffling that they're able to fit it into such a tiny package like this. With Boxu, you can actually auto-renew your subscription or pause or cancel anytime you need to, and they ship straight from Japan. This includes free shipping for US orders, and it arrives in a surprisingly fast 1 to 2 weeks time. So what are you making your taste buds wait for? Get 20% off with the code Chaotic20 on your very own authentic Japanese snack box, and that's a lot of savings if you use that link down in the description. With all that being said, let's get into it. And yes, I am going to be snacking on some of these treats during this video, because they're that good. So, Renegade Platinum, 493 Pokemon. That may sound daunting, but to me, that's not too bad at all. Sword and Shield had nearly 600 Pokemon, though I guess I won't have EXP candies to help me out here. I will at least have rare candies though, but we'll take it one step at a time. I named my character Cha and my rival A because letters are hard, and grabbed my starter. The choice doesn't really matter that much, as we'll be getting all three pretty quickly, so I just took Chimchar, fought my rival, and headed on over to Samgem Town. I talked to Rowan and go a little deeper into his lab to grab both Piplup and Turtwig, so that's going to be a pretty big of a grind right off the bat, but believe me, that's not the worst of it. There's another gift Pokemon too, before heading onward, as I can go back to my mother to tell her that I'm going on an adventure, and she has a gift Eevee for me to take before leaving, which is great. Now is time for the fun part though, and that's capturing actual Pokemon. Fortunately, Pokeballs are extremely cheap inside of the Sandgem Pokemart, and in every Pokemart in the game actually. So I just bought literally as many as I could, since we've got a lot to do in this section. First off, Route 201, where I captured Starly, Kricketot, Nidoran Female, Bidoof, and Nidoran Male during the night, Pidgey during the day, evolving Chimchar into Monferno at level 14, and Doduo from the Poke Radar. Yes, I'm not kidding. Professor Rowan immediately hands you the Poke Radar at the beginning of the game. I actually sort of forgot how this thing worked, so I had to look up how to use it properly in order to move quickly through the game. But once you have a handle on it, it's not that hard at all. With that being said, I moved into Lake Verity again to get Surskit, Azurill, and Wingull from the grass, and Wynot from the Poke Radar. Not too bad, but unfortunately we've already got a friendship evolution here, but I can just let it sit in the party for now. We've also already gotten a few other areas to go to, such as Route 202. After taking out Dawn real quick, I can capture Sentret, a male and female Burmy, 5 Zigzagoons since we'll 100% need pickup, Shinx, Rattata, Poochyena, and Growlithe during the morning, evolving Piplup into Prinplup at level 16, Houndour with the Poke Radar, and Hoot Hoot during the night. Yeah, we already got a lot here, but I feel pretty comfortable keeping my main starter in my party, and everything else is just going to be the Zigzagoons. Moving on up into Jubilife City gives me access to this battle interviewer in the Pokemon Center, and upon beating her, I can get Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Another set of starters, another bunch of Pokemon that I have to get in the mid-level 30s to evolve, but again, it's not the worst thing in the world. The only other Pokemon we can get here in Jubilife is from an egg in the Trainer School, which, if you're familiar with my Crystal Professor Oak's challenge, it's the same sort of thing here. I need to save before talking to her and get one specific Pokemon, or else I won't have the maximum amount of Pokemon by the end of the section. With that, there's an item I need to grab here too, that being the Old Rod from the gate in the west from this fisherman, which leads right out to Route 218, which is the next area that I need to go to. Here I can get Magikarp, Staryu, and oh, well, I guess the egg already hatched. I guess they decided to change that in this game, and Finneon with the Old Rod. I at least appreciate Drayano for changing that, since if I had to do a whole routine like I had to do in Crystal version, I probably would have had a conniption. But now I have to backtrack through Route 202 to get back to Sandgem Town, since Route 219 to the south has some Old Rod encounters in Krabby, Horsey, and 2 Clamperl. But that's not all. I need to make sure to grab a Dragon Scale here. Since it's not a trade evolution item anymore, it can just be used, and Horsey has a 5% chance of holding them. I also have access to Covet thanks to my Zigzagoons, so getting this is a relative breeze, though it did take a little while to get it. Last little bit of backtracking here, back in Twinleaf Town I can get 2 Poliwag with the Old Rod, so now we're all caught up. Moving back over to Jubilife City means I can go in 2 directions, but since north is optional, that's probably the way I want to go first. Here I can get Badoo, Weedle, Bellsprout, 2 Ralts during the day, one of which being male, Ledyba, a shiny Caterpie, and a few Wurmple during the morning, Roselia from the Poke Radar, Goldeen and Corphish with the Old Rod, Sunkern during the day, and Spinarak and 2 Oddish during the night. Now, you guys may be wondering why I didn't go crazy about that shiny, and that's because A, it's a ROM hack, I can't transfer it anywhere, and B, Drayano decided to increase the odds of shinies to 1 in 512. Now, mind you, I did try applying a patch that would make it back into the 1 in 8192 that we're used to, but I couldn't apply that along with the speed patch that I had, so I just dealt with it. With that said, that's a pretty big chunk here, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with another friendship evolution with Badoo. The Ravage path is right here too, so I'm able to grab Zubat, Geodude, Sandshrew, Makihita, Wooper, and Psyduck from Wild Encounters, and Barboach from the Old Rod. Unfortunately, I can't go farther in this direction though, so it's time to go back to Jubilife City and head east to Route 203, where I get to fight my rival. Fortunately, after beating him, I'm able to get the EXP share, which will be 100% helpful, especially with getting those pickup Zigzagoons leveled up. So I went ahead and gave one of them the EXP share and caught Cubone, Spearow, Abra, Seedot, and Lotad, as well as Pineco from the Poke Radar. At this point, I was kind of brainstorming about the way I wanted to train up my Pokemon once I had captured everything, though. And I've already basically decided that the Pokemon that can fight for themselves and need to be at a high level will be trained first so that my Zigzagoons can get leveled up quickly. Then I can use my Zigzagoons to train up Pokemon like Abra, Seedot, and those who can't really defend themselves fully before evolving. Though I suppose since we're dealing with a ROM hack here, Abra will be fine once it evolves into Kadabra, but I digress. Also, there's another important item on this route, that being the Soothe Bell, which I immediately slapped onto Azurill, since Lord knows we're gonna need to get these annoying friendship evolutions out of our party ASAP to make sure to have room for our pickup users. Only a few more areas left for the section, the next one being Oreburgh Gate, where I can grab myself a Riolu and Diglett. Alright, well, I guess I will have to deal with another friendship evolution, but it shouldn't be too bad as long as I replace 2 of the Zigzagoons before training them up. Oreburgh City itself has a few new Pokemon, but I'm going to be skipping over those for now, instead opting to go north to Route 207, getting Machop, 2 Ponyta, one of which for a trade, Rhyhorn, Phanpy, and Larvitar from Wild Encounters, and Stantler from the Poke Radar. Yeah, I'm going to have to evolve that. Level 55. 2 more areas left, first of which is Oreburgh City, where I can actually get everything now. There's another battle interviewer here in the Pokemon Center, and upon beating her, I was able to get Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip. 3 sets of starters, all in one single section, all in the Gen 4 engine. But good thing I'm using the speed patch that was made for this game, or else I'd go absolutely bonkers. Seriously, look at how fast this game moves because of it. It's so much better than playing on actual hardware. There's 2 other Pokemon here, those being a gift Beldum from Steven Stone of all people in the house by the Oreburgh Mine, and a Spheal that I can trade for one of my Ponyta that I grabbed on Route 207. Just 4 more captures left. Oreburgh Mine is the last area I need to worry about, where I can nab a Whismur, Aron, Onix, and Trapinch. And there we go, all of the captures have been completed for the section. But before I head out of here, Rourke actually gives me an evolutionary stone. It doesn't matter which one I choose here, but because I'm using a certain guide, link in the description, it's written so that you take the water stone here, so I made sure to do the same. Now, it's time for the hard part. There are literally over 100 Pokemon to evolve, and that poses several problems. Aside from the high levels for things like Beldum, Spheal, Trapinch, Larvitar, the starters, and more, there is one giant problem. I need to get Zigzagoon up to level 51. Now, you may be asking why I would ever do such a thing, and there is no sane reason to this question, but the insane reason is that I need a Dawnstone to get Gallade, hence why we grabbed 2 Ralts earlier. We also need 2 King's Rocks, which can be found anytime between level 11 and 30, so those aren't as bad, and also we need a Shiny Stone for Roselia, which can be found with pickup between levels 41 and 50, so essentially I'll be focusing on a single Zigzagoon for that job. With all that being said, now it's time to figure out how I'll be training up. Well, with the exception of the Zigzagoons, those are going to be first, of course. I found that Route 207 was the best place to grind. Level 9 and 10 Machops, Ponytas, Rhyhorns, and even the Phanpys here are pretty darn good at yielding EXP, and Larvitar is not too bad either. Speaking of which, I decided to start off with Larvitar after training the Zigzagoons. I figured if I'm going to need to get Zigzagoon all the way up to level 51, I may as well pair it up with the Pokemon that needs to get up to level 55. This took several hours, even with the speed patch. It took a pretty good while to get Larvitar to Pupitar at level 30. And by that point, I even managed to get the 2 King's Rocks I needed as well. So I was free to move Zigzagoon higher up to 41 for the Shiny Stone. But this is where I realized that I needed to actually level up the lower level Pokemon, since making level 30 my barrier for now until I see just how many rare candies I draw in would probably be a pretty decent idea. So I went ahead and evolved Caterpie into Modipod at level 7, and into Butterfree at level 10, Weedle into Kakuna at level 7, and into Beedrill at level 10, Wurmple into Cascoon at level 7, and into Dustox at level 10, Wurmple into Silcoon at level 7, and into Beautifly at level 10, Kricketot into Kricketune at level 10, Lotad into Lombre at level 14, Seedot into Nuzleaf at level 14, Sentret into Furret at level 15, Bidoof into Bibarel at level 15, Abra into Kadabra at level 16, Wynot into Wobbuffet at level 15, Nidoran Male into Nidorino at level 16, Nidoran Female into Nidorina at level 16, and Magikarp into Gyarados at level 20. I figured this would also be a good time to check my friendship evolutions with Azurill and Riolu, both of which managed to evolve into Marill and Lucario respectively without any trouble. So I just put them away and put one of the Zigzagoons back in the party. Alright, enough talking, time for some rapid fire evolutions, which I guess includes talking, so yay! I just went in order of what the guide had them written down and trained them up, evolving Eevee into Vaporeon with the Water Stone, Turtwig into Grottle at level 18, Staryu into Staravia at level 14, Pidgey into Pidgeotto at level 18, Doduo into Dodrio at level 31, Surskit into Masquerain at level 22, Marill into Azumarill at level 18, Wingull into Pelipper at level 25, Shinx into Luxio at level 15, and into Luxray at level 30, Hoot Hoot into Noctowl at level 20, Rattata into Raticate at level 20, Poochyena into Mightyena at level 18, Male Burmy into Mothim at level 20, Female Burmy into Wormadam at level 20, Houndour into Houndoom at level 24, Bulbasaur into Ivysaur at level 16, Charmander into Charmeleon at level 16, Squirtle into Wartortle at level 16, Finneon into Lumineon at level 31, Krabby into Kingler at level 28, Poliwag into Poliwhirl at level 25, and into Politoed with the King's Rock, Bellsprout into Weepinbell at level 21, Ralts into Kirlia at level 20, and into Gardevoir at level 30, the second Ralts into Kirlia at level 20, and unfortunately I don't have the Dawnstone yet, but I do have the Shiny Stone, so I did evolve Roselia into Roserade with it. Getting back to leveling up, I evolved Ledyba into Ledian at level 18, Oddish into Gloom at level 21, Spinarak into Ariados at level 22, Corphish into Crawdaunt at level 30, Wooper into Quagsire at level 20, Sandshrew into Sandslash at level 22, Makihita into Hariyama at level 24, Barboach into Whiscash at level 30, Spearow into Fearow at level 20, Cubone into Marowak at level 28, Pineco into Fortress at level 31, Geodude into Graveler at level 25, Diglett into Dugtrio at level 26, Machop into Machoke at level 28, Fanpy into Donphan at level 25, Trico into Grovyle at level 16, Torchic into Combuskin at level 16, Mudkip into Marshtomp at level 16, Beldum into Metang at level 20, Spheal into Celio at level 24, Whismur into Loudred at level 20, Aron into Lairon at level 24, Zubat into Golbat at level 22, and into Crobat at level 23 with Max Happiness, and Trapinch into Vibrava at level 30. Alright, everything is at least level 30 now, including the Pokemon that didn't evolve. Now I've got to take a look at how many rare candies I had, and I'm actually sitting at a wildly high 134. I mean, I guess that makes sense after grinding for nearly 65 hours, and yeah, I'm already at 65 hours. It would be a lot higher if I wasn't using that speed patch. Calculating it out though, I need exactly 178 levels to finish off all of my evolutions, so I decided to just evolve the Pokemon that were already extremely close, finishing off Grottle into Torterra at level 32, Staravia into Staraptor at level 34, Ivysaur into Venusaur at level 32, Horsey into Seadra at level 32, and into Kingdra with the Dragon Scale, and Goldeen into Seaking at level 33. By this point, I managed to be at 142 rare candies, 25 away from the number I needed to finish evolving everything at this point. So I just brought everything up one at a time, by one level at a time even, eventually getting to about 149 rare candies, and enough to evolve the remainder of the Pokemon I had for the section, getting Monferno into Infernape at level 36, Prinplup into Empoleon at level 36, Pidgeotto into Pidgeot at level 36, Charmeleon into Charizard at, you guessed it, level 36, Wartortle into Blastoise at level 36, Kadabra into Alakazam at level 36, Graveler into Golem at level 36, Machoke into Machamp at level 36, Rhyhorn into Rhydon at level 36, Ponyta into Rapidash at level 35. It finally changed, thank God. Pupitar into Tyranitar at level 55, Psyduck into Golduck at level 33, Grovyle into Sceptile at level 36, Combuskin into Blaziken at level 36, Marshtomp into Swampert at level 36, Celio into Walrein at level 40, Loudred into Exploud at level 40, Lairon into Aggron at level 40, oh god, are we getting another 36? Vibrava into Flygon at level 45, Metang into Metagross at level 45, and one of my pickup Zigzagoons at the end into Linoon at level 22. And with that, I did manage to get the Dawnstone by the end of all of it, finishing off the section by evolving my male Curlia into Gallade with it, finishing the section with a time of 70 hours and 46 minutes with a total of 181 Pokemon. That was a lot, but we've still got about 63% of the Pokedex to go. So, a new section, another 160 Pokemon to go. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, we're getting to about 340 by the end of this one. After leaving Oreburgh City, I'm able to head back out west, returning to Jubilife, and head north so that we can go through the Ravage Path and make it into Floroma Town. There's quite a few Pokemon we can get here, first of which being the last battle interviewer, that upon beating gives me Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Well, at least we won't have to worry about any more starters after this, but there are definitely a few high-level evolutions for the section. There's also a house next to the Pokemon Center, which as long as I have Clamperl in my party, the man in here gives me both the Deep Sea Tooth and the Deep Sea Scale, which I can immediately use on both of my Clamperls to evolve them into Huntail and Gorobus respectively. 5 down of gazillion to go, so I just put Cyndaquil in the party and went back south to fight the few trainers that I avoided to get into Floroma Town, evolving it into Quilava in a single level before going into the Floroma Meadows to pick up some new Pokemon. I have to take out the Galactic Grunts though, so afterwards I'm able to get some honey. We'll be coming back later for these encounters, but for now I just slathered the tree with honey and... Oh, they actually made it instant! This is such a relief. I don't have to wait! And because of that, I'm able to get Execute, Shroomish, Tangela, and 2 Cherubi, immediately trading the second Cherubi for a Skorupi, moving on my merry way over to the Valley Windworks. There's quite a few Pokemon over here as well, including Magnemite, Pachirisu, Elekid, Voltorb, Electrike, and Drifloon in the grass, as well as Plusle and Minun from the Pokeradar, Munchlax, Slackoth, and Apom from the Honey Trees, and Shelder and Chinchou from using the Old Rod. It also wasn't much of a struggle to take out the grunts and admins in the building. Honestly, only having 4 pickup mons makes this easy, as I can keep 1 overpowered Pokemon in my party, in this case Flygon, and 1 training Pokemon, slap the EXP share on it, and keep the switch mode on so that the weak Pokemon always gets 75% of the EXP, leaving the high level monster in the party to do the dirty work. This makes the process very easy, and I'm happier for it. After clearing Team Galactic out, I made my way out to Southern Route 205, housing yet another honey tree with a female Combee and Heracross, along with in the grass, Shellos, Hoppip, Mareep, Weasel during the day, as well as Venonat during the night. Fortunately, there's no Pokeradars encounters here, but there are a few important items here, and those are the Oranberries from the plants. I'll need to hold on to at least one of these at all times, so having multiple will definitely be appreciated. Route 205 is basically done for now, though, so it's time for Eterna Forest. I didn't really want to try to capture anything alongside Cheryl, though, so I just battled her, ferried her through, grabbing the Leaf Stone on the Moss Rock in here, since Drayano made the smart decision and changed Eevee's evolution method, including the Ice Stone into the game as well, so that's very nice. After getting Cheryl out, I went back through to get my encounters, those being Mischievous, Baniri, Nincada, Talo, and Murkrow during the night, as well as Paris during the day. Another change that was added here is that there's no cut HM required to get into the old Chateau, so let's see what this place has to offer us right now. Well, there are a few things, those being Haunter, Duskull, Ghastly, evolving Quilava into Typhlosion at level 36, and Shuppet, as well as an old Gateau in the room left of the entrance. Just like the Oranberry, we'll want to keep a hold of at least one of these, but wait, there's more! There's 2 static encounters we can get here. I'm sure you know at least one of them, but the other is actually a Gengar that I can encounter by checking this painting and trying to leave the room. It's certainly faster than having to level up Haunter, so this is appreciated. And of course, Rotom is in the same TV that it's in during the normal Sinnoh games, just accessible before the post-game. Very nice, and yet another area out of the way. Now I'm able to be spit back out on Route 205, but this area that's north of the Eterna Forest has some new Pokemon to capture. But before that, I went ahead and fought all of the trainers, evolving Totodile into Croconaw at level 18 before capturing 2 Slowpoke, Krogunk, Volbeat, and Illumise from Wild Encounters, as well as Yanma from the Pokeradar. There's also a single honey tree here, so of course slathering that tree and grabbing Farfetch'd is paramount. Lastly, there's a water stone that I can get on this route, which I went ahead and used as soon as I entered Eterna City, evolving Staryu into Starmie with it, as well as Gloom into Vileplume with the leaf stone that I got from Eterna Forest. Eterna City also has one single encounter for me to grab now, that being Dratini with the old rod, but it will also be a very important hub for things to do here at the end of the captures of the section. Firstly, I need the Explorer Kit. We need to get every fossil in this section, as well as a ton of evolution stones for the rest of the game, so we'll be down there for a while. There's a few other items as well, including the Sunstone next to the gym, using it immediately to evolve Sunkern into Sunflora. The TM for False Swipe is also available in the gate at the southernmost part of the city, and since they give you 99 of them, I'm gonna be in great shape no matter who's in our party for encounters. Anyway, I certainly don't feel like doing that underground stuff right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the rest of the overworld encounters for the section. First up, Western Route 211, where I can get Metatite, Swablu, Teddiursa, Natu, Chingling, and 3 Tyrogue, and immediately east is an entrance to Mount Coronet, where I'm able to grab Cleffa, Lunatone, Solrock, Bronzor, evolving Croconaw into Feraligatr at level 30, Chikorita into Bayleaf at level 16, and finally Nosepass. I'm even able to make it all the way to Eastern Route 211 on the other side, grabbing a Firestone as well as a Bagon before heading back into Mount Coronet and going to its basement lake. Here I can get the Prism Scale for later, and I captured Chimecho and Clefairy from regular encounters, as well as Feebas with the old rod. Also, hilariously enough, because Renegade Platinum changes up progression so much, I'm able to head up into Route 216 already, grabbing Smoochum, Sneasel, 3 Snorunt, one of which being female, Snover, and Swinub from regular encounters, as well as Delibird from the Poke Radar, followed up by an Ice Tone on the top path. Yeah, that was a lot, but it didn't actually take too long to get everything I just listed off. After sending Gardenia back to her gym, it's time to head back to Eterna City, where I can now complete a trade, giving up one of my 3 Snowrunts for a Chatot. And with that, that's it for encounters, aside from the fossils. Didn't take too long to get everything right. Well, expect to be taking too long on the underground, since it's time to go grab a literal boatload of items. I'll need moonstones, waterstones, leafstones, sunstones, firestones, thunderstones, you name it, chances are I'm going to need it for the rest of this run. Of course, I'm not going to make you guys sit through hours of that, but it did take me a few hours to get lucky enough to find all of this, though. And a lot of other garbage, but, that's at least sellable, and that's going to be needed for my strategy for this section. Once I managed to find all the fossils, though, I revived Aerodactyl, Ammonite, Kabuto, Lileep, Anorith, Shieldon, and Cranidos, as well as getting up all of the evolution stones, which lets me evolve Nidorino into Nidoking with a Moonstone, Nidorina into Nidoqueen with a Moonstone, Clefairy into Clefable with a Moonstone, Feebas into Milotic with the Prism Scale, Female Snorunt into Frostlass with a Dawnstone, Growlithe into Arcanine with a Firestone, Murkrow into Honchkrow with a Duskstone, Misdreavus into Mismagius with a Duskstone, Slowpoke into Slowking with a King's Rock, Weepinbell into Victorybell with a Leafstone, Nuzleaf into Shiftry with a Leafstone, Execute into Executor with a Leafstone, Shelter into Cloyster with a Waterstone, and Lombre into Ludicolo with a Waterstone. The rest of the stone evolutions need to be evolved by level first, so I'll be handling those at the end. The only real annoying Pokemon to grind up during this section were Bagon and Dratini, the latter of which being a little rough, but since Renegade Platinum has some good moveset revisions, I was in relatively decent shape. It was just mostly the amount of EXP I needed. The rest of them were relatively easy due to the relatively good level that most stuff can be found at right now. I also found that this honey tree between both routes 205, this is technically Eterna Forest, but it's on the outside, and normally it would only be accessible with cut, but is opened up thanks to the lack of HM usage on the overworld, and it's the best source of EXP for this section by a long shot. This tree has a 100% yield of Beedrill at level 15, an easy to KO EXP sponge that gives 340 EXP every time it's knocked out. While yes, this does mean I'm spending a lot of money on honey, which you can tell I literally had a stack of 999, but if you paid a bit of attention during the last section, you would have seen that my inventory was rather bare bones in comparison to rare candies. That's because I essentially sold everything off to ensure this strategy would work for this entire section, and sure enough, it managed to work out. So, yeah, I guess doing a little bit of research before doing these is probably worth it. This also stacks with pickup, making the section go ridiculously fast compared to what I expected. The only thing that sort of clashed here was my friendship evolutions, of which there are a few in this section. So I decided to offset this by sometimes rotating Flygon out of the party once each Pokemon I was training was high enough level to consistently handle the Beedrills being thrown at me, which ended up being a great strategy. I also went ahead and made my barrier level 36 at first, since it was just such a meme at the end of the last section, which in the first wave let me evolve Bayleaf into Meganium at level 32, Cherubi into Cherim at level 25, Shroomish into Breloom at level 23, Tangela into Tangrowth at level 34 while learning Ancient Power, Skorupi into Drapion at level 30, Magnemite into Magneton at level 30, and into Magnezone one level later during Mount Coronet, Nosepass into Probopass in one level also in Mount Coronet, Elekid into Electabuzz at level 30, Electrike into Manectric at level 26, Voltorb into Electrode at level 30, Drifloon into Drifblim at level 28, and yes, I do like this shiny, Apom into Ambipom at level 32 while learning Double Hit, Slackoth into Vigoroth at level 18 and into Slacking at level 36, Munchlax into Snorlax with Max Happiness, Chinchou into Lanturn at level 27, Shellos into Gastrodon at level 30, Mareep into Flaffy at level 15 and into Ampharos at level 30, Buizel into Floatzel at level 26, Hoppip into Skiploom at level 18 and into Jumpluff at level 27, Venonat into Venomoth at level 31, Female Combee into Vespiquen at level 21, Paris into Parasect at level 24, Nincada into Ninjask at level 20, and splitting off into Shedinja with a blank spot in the party and a Pokeball in my bag, Tailo into Swellow at level 22, Duskull into Dusclops at level 32, Shuppet into Bayonet at level 32, Slowpoke into Slowbro at level 33, Krogunk into Toxicroak at level 33, Yanma into Yanmega at level 33 while knowing Ancient Power, Ammonite into Amistar at level 30, Kabuto into Kabutops at level 30, Lileep into Cradily at level 30, Anorith into Armaldo at level 30, Shieldon into Bastiodon at level 30, Granados into Rampardos at level 30, Meditite into Medicham at level 33, Swablu into Altaria at level 35, Teddiursa into Ursaring at level 30, Natu into Xatu at level 25, Tyrogue into Hitmonlee at level 20 with higher attack than defense, Tyrogue into Hitmonchan at level 20 with higher defense than attack, Tyrogue into Hitmontop at level 20 with equal attack and defense, Bronzor into Bronzong at level 33, Bagon into Shelgon at level 30, Baniri into Lopunny with max happiness, Swinub into Piloswine at level 33, Smoochum into Jinx at level 30, Snorunt into Glalie at level 32, the second Poliwag into Poliwhirl at level 25 and into Poliwrath with a Water Stone, the second Oddish into Gloom at level 21, and into Bellossom with a Sunstone, and Dratini into Dragonair at level 30. With that, there's only 3 Pokemon that need to evolve beyond this, those being Snover, Dratini, and Bagon. Fortunately, I had enough rare candies for this, more than enough to evolve Snover into Abomasnow at level 40, Dragonair into Dragonite at level 55, and Shelgon into Salamence at level 50. And there we go. I can go ahead and take out Gardenia with 340 Pokemon in the dex, at a time of 92 hours and 28 minutes. Not bad at all. A bit over 20 hours is absolutely great for how many Pokemon that are in this section, and how early it is, and there's only about 150 of them left.